film critic Karen Krizanovich. Great to see you, Karen, as always. Let's start with Disney, celebrating 100 years, betting big on a family flick, but do they need to wish on another star?
I think they need to wish on quite a few different stars, yeah. You know, the critics didn't really like Wish, not that the critics have, you know, that much thrall these days, but when a bunch of critics don't really like something that Disney's doing, then they know Disney is got a problem. And I think one critic called Wish a YA adaptation of Les Miserables, which I thought was really funny. It tries to be everything to all people, and I think that is the problem with Wish, and that's also the problem with Strange World. I think it was last year, bombed last Thanksgiving as well. They're just trying to play it too safe.
What about Napoleon? Much more of a grown-up film. Big director, epic budget, long running time.
Yeah, well, the great thing about Napoleon, it's almost like two films pushed together. There's the romance, period stuff, and then there's also these great battles, particularly Austerlitz, which is getting the critical notion. You know, it set a world record for artificial snow, I'll have you know. It's exciting and it's strange. There's a love story there that if you're bored with the battles, you can watch that. If you're bored with that, you can watch the battles. And I think it's a remarkable bit of filmmaking, and I can't wait for the longer director's cut.
I wonder, though, how it's going to do in some other key territories where it hasn't been released yet. I'm thinking of China. And also, Karen, how much the box office dollars mean to someone like Apple.
Well, you have to remember that Apple, these two, Killers of the Flower Moon and Napoleon, are kind of lost leaders for Apple. They're not really expecting those films to make back their budget or their marketing budget. Don't forget, a production budget is only one part of the budget, and then that again. So if it's $200 million, the whole cost of the film is going to be at least $400 million. Wow. These are things to grab our attention for the company. So I think that's what we're looking at. We're looking at spectacular quality films.
What about franchises, though? There seems to be a lot of those happening. The Hunger Games, Trolls, Marvel.
Well, those are great family movies for the most part. I mean, Marvel's never really smelled quite right. The cast is wonderful. It's an innovative script, but it's just very flat feeling. Trolls is fun, and it's you know, the great thing about a franchise is that you know what you're going to get. Now, I love the way you said Songbirds and Snakes. You got it right. I wanted to call it Songbirds and Snacks. Is remarkable because it didn't do very well in its first week, and its second weekend it's doing very well. I think it's got good word of mouth, and it's setting up its own projection for another franchise, even though it is technically a prequel.
And what's the outlook for indie films? I remember on the awards circuit last year, you and I were talking quite a lot about After Sun, which did very well. I mean, what might we go and see? What should we go and see that might not be on billboards, might not be on our radar?
Wow, there's so much. I've seen 150 features this year, and a lot of them have been independents. There are so many good independents. For example, I guess I shouldn't say Yorgos Lanthimos' Poor Things, which won at Venice. I'm not really sure that is an independent. Hasn't really come out yet. The Holdovers, Alexander Payne, is a wonderful film. Again, I'm not really sure if that's an independent, but these are things that don't have this big profile. There's a wonderful film, Argentinian film called The Delinquents. It's 3 hours long, but the first 2 hours are great. So there is an awful lot to see. There's a huge choice. And if the topic grabs you, go and see it and give it a try.
Karen Krizanovich, always a pleasure chatting to you about the movies. Thanks so much.